Okay, here we go. I finally got myself to record this. I've been procrastinating all day with this. This sprint is supposed to be mostly me doing the character art and animations. I'm supposed to do a walk animation, a running animation, and an attack animation and stuff like that. And this has been anticipated to be the biggest filter for me when it comes to this project, because when it comes to programming and everything, I'm very confident in that. But when it comes to the art direction of this game, I'm not as confident. Like, my inspiration, of course, is games like A Link to the Past and Pokemon Black and White when it comes to art direction. In those games, however, the character is very abstracted, and I wanted to also make a game that was like, for instance, I have a function in the game that takes real life measurements and transforms them into pixel space so that the flowers can be the appropriate height compared to the in-game proportions. However, if I have abstracted characters, it would probably be for the best if I also abstracted the heights of flowers and other kinds of flora. This is because like, if I were to make realistic proportions for the humans, like I was trying to do here, where the human is roughly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 heads, or 6, I can't count, I think 7 heads tall, then I mean, it looks good here next to the little fluffy boy, but considering that the game is actually not orthographic, it's a 3D world that you can rotate around, then things such as like since the sprite is flat, try to imagine the sprite character like lying down into the screen. That would not look good, cause like the character itself is drawn on a flat surface, meanwhile the world isn't actually flat. The character would always have to fall sideways. The bigger the character is, the more space they're gonna take up, and the more the flaws of this, like the character being flat, is going to be revealed. So I haven't actually tried looking at what this character would look like in the game yet, but I already, like, this character would look great if I made it, like if I finished it, if I finished the sprite art for this and like divided it up and could, like, you know, like a clip art doll, just mix and match legs and arms and torso and everything, it would look great, but probably not with this camera angle. I'm not sure. So I'm actually leaning towards going back and making abstracted characters like roughly in the size of like 1 or 2 tiles. But I've been struggling with this because I think that is the best option here for this project, but it's also not something I want to do. My ideal outcome would be to have like a creature creator or a character creator that is a little bit more like the one in Spore. On the other hand, that would increase my scope significantly, so I don't think I should do that, like, if I want to get anywhere. It's of course a big limitation, but when it comes to a project like this where not everything is decided yet at this stage, then like at some points you have to make compensations, or yeah, you have to compromise. And like, perhaps one day I'll make a Spore creator or whatever, and then like where I can put 3D arms and legs on the creatures, and then put a shader on top of them to make them look like sprites, so that it looks perfect in the world that they're living in. The 3D world, like, that it fits. But I don't feel confident in that right now. And if I do it, it would probably be, I don't know if it would be a sequel or if it would be like some kind of DLC, but I know that DLCs aren't exactly popular nowadays. I'm starting to see them, like, now that I started with this art project, I came face to face with the fact that I have limitations as as a lone producer, since yeah, I think that this is just beyond the scope for me. So I'm going to probably revert back to having abstracted characters. Like at this stage, since even though it's been like several months already, like almost a year now, I haven't gotten to the point yet where the whole game is in like a prototype state. I haven't gotten like all the features in to just make the basic like play cycle. So there is still room for making other decisions and compromises. But after we have passed that stage, which should be in just a few more sprints, then I can make a proper plan for going forward, and then probably there won't be as many changes. But this is where I'm at right now, and I'm gonna have to I don't have to remake sprites exactly, but I will probably continue forward. Continuing forward, I will make new small human sprites, and they will be abstracted, and I will change a little bit about how the flora works and stuff. And yeah, that's where we're at. Hello. Okay, so here's the little update for this sprint. I did not finish the sprint. I think this is the first time I haven't finished a sprint, and also I spent like 3 months on this sprint. In the end, I did not end up making the animations that I wanted to do, or the sprites. I didn't feel like I had any time with how much I had with school at the moment. I had a Japanese course that was very demanding. I had an animation course that I'm still behind on, and the third course, which I have finally finished. So the animations are not in here. A lot of the things from the sprint that I was supposed to do aren't things that I'm able to show, because they're like debugging things and little behind the scenes details. However, there are some things that should be fixed in this video that I should be able to show off. But yeah, so essentially it was a bit disappointing. Like I just at least wanted to get this video out to explain why it has taken so long, and to have something out in time, even though this isn't in time, but you know what I mean. Like to make sure that this is still a regular thing that happens. So okay, so this as you can see here, there are no longer any detached floors in the middle of the rooms, although they don't look perfect. In fact, they have some really strange things going on some of them. But the code that makes sure that they get walls in the first place is now in place. What I was going to work on right now that I didn't finish, besides the animations, was that I wanted to fix room expansion, because right now rooms only expand down to the right, but I wanted them to be able to expand in all directions, and eventually I want them to be able to just expand from any position in the room as well. That is not currently within the scope of the game though, so I just want things to be I just want things to look good and be roughly what I want it to be, essentially. Like, I want the big rooms to exist, and I don't want the entire dungeons to look scuffed. The consequence of them all expanding from the corner means that every single big room is going to connect to a room in the corner. But I don't think that's an issue. Yeah. So that is all I had to say for this time, and hopefully for the next video next month I will have more things to show off. If you if you're interested in this project, please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.